Hi, it's Sandy Wyllie. Welcome to my mental health channel where I wipe away the stigma of mental illness by talking about my own struggles having borderline personality disorder, post traumatic stress disorder. I talk about my anxiety and panic attacks, my deep depression I had, my narcissistic mother who used to brutally beat me, my schizophrenic father, who I wrote a book all about in my childhood. The link is down below in the description. Life with My Schizophrenic Father. It's available on Amazon. I talk about my unethical psychologist that sexually abused me, raped me, exploited me. I've written books all about that in great graphic detail, and the links are down below in the descriptions. I talk about a whole plethora of other mental health related issues, as well as, self improvement, self care, self love, inspirational um, videos. I put that in the mix too. But I only come on as a former patient of almost 20 years. I am not a licensed therapist. I cannot give you a professional opinion or diagnose you. All I ask in turn of you is your kindness and respect in the comments. Please be kind to me. Be kind to other people who comment. We don't need to agree on everything. After all, variety is the spice of life, but we always need to show each other respect and kindness. Now, if you are new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hit that little box in the lower right hand corner that says subscribe. It's 100% free, and that way you will be notified every time a new video comes out. Give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, your family. Spread the love. Feel free to comment. I love to read your comments. I will always respond to your comments. I really appreciate you sharing your own struggles with me, your opinions with me, even if they differ than me. What you're going through, your thoughts, and we can learn from each other and grow and spread the love and start an amazing friendship with everyone. Um, so, today's topic of discussion is people who can't work because of their mental illness. A lot of people, unfortunately, who don't have mental illness themselves or who have never experienced mental illness in their own families really don't understand mental illness at all. They think depression is a choice. They think that people that don't want to get up in the morning are lazy. Um, They think that people who have severe anxiety can just snap out of it. Snap out of it. Don't think about it. Don't worry. Don't worry. Be happy. I've heard it all before. And these are, depression, anxiety, mental illness. Let me tell you something. It's not a choice, all right? It's a it's debilitating. I was trying to think of the word. It's debilitating, okay? No one wants to live this life day in and day out in this debilitating condition. Nobody does, all right? It's not being lazy. It's not, a choice. It's not, oh, snap out of it. I've had severe anxiety, crippling anxiety, where I couldn't leave the house. I couldn't attend social functions because I have social anxiety. As I had crippling panic attacks where I literally thought I was going to die. I'm not shitting you at all. I thought I was going to die because I couldn't breathe. All right. Imagine someone taking away your breath. You cannot breathe. You know, like you're suffocating, literally. Or my heart was beating so fast and I had severe chest pain. I thought, I was rushed to the hospital. I thought I was having a heart attack. I'm not kidding you. They said you're having a panic attack, not a heart attack. But this is how a panic attack feels. It feels just like a heart attack because I thought I was having a heart attack. And other people I know said the same thing, that they too thought they were having a heart attack. So this is, not some light stuff that someone could snap out of, that someone chooses to be this way. A lot of people cannot work because of their mental illness. They're on a disability. A lot of people, other people who have severe mental illness, and don't go and apply for the disability because they're too ashamed, because people have told them things like, oh, don't be so lazy, or, get out there and get a job. Don't you hate people who say things like that? Get a job. Like, they don't understand, They snap out of it, I'll give you something to worry about. I'll give, things like that. This is the whole purpose of me coming on and doing my channel on mental illness, because I'm trying to get people better educated so they won't be ignorant and not know what people with mental illness are really going through. Now, since the pandemic, I thought the best thing, there's one, a lot of times out of the flames, something grows, all right? Like after a forest fire, you'll see new regrowth. I think the best thing that came out of this pandemic, honestly, was that more and more people now are working from home. And working from home really helps people with mental illness. My husband works from home. My son works from home. I work from home. And what's wonderful about this is it helps a lot of other people too who don't have mental illness. Say I have severe anxiety around driving. I have anxiety around a lot of things. I have social anxiety. So working from home and doing these videos, I don't have to, be around people who are critical and judgmental and who I constantly have panic attacks. I don't have to drive anywhere. If you're in a deep depression and you work from home, sometimes it takes everything just to get out of bed for your job. Okay, when you don't work from home, what do you have to do? Not only do you have to get out of bed, but you have to, shower, get dressed, make the effort to leave the house, take whatever mode of transportation you're doing, and all of these things are extra steps for someone with deep depression, that or anxiety, just leaving the house, just going out in the public. That working from home can, prevent all those extra added things that, are taxing on someone who has anxiety and depression. For instance, if your job, let's say, starts at 8 o'clock, you can get up like 10 minutes before you have to go on, and all you have to do is drag yourself from your bed to wherever your laptop is, right? Or computer. Some people have their laptops and computers in their bedroom. So you don't even have to drag yourself out of your own bedroom. And if you do, you can have it, in a room very close so that you don't have to go far. And I think that helps immensely. You can sleep in the last minute. You don't have to drag yourself. Because when you're fighting depression, I'm telling you, it takes every effort to brush your teeth and take a shower. People that don't have depression or mental illness don't understand that. They go, what are you talking about? It's only 10 minutes to take a shower. Don't be, this is because people don't understand. It takes great effort. If you work from home, you don't even have to take a shower, okay? You don't even have to get dressed, all right? Like, I could be wearing my pajamas. You won't know. You don't know if this is a pajama. It could be a pajama top. How are you going to know it is? You know what I mean? You're only seeing up to my breasts up. You don't know if this is a nightgown. It isn't a nightgown. But I have done videos, let me tell you this, in my nightgown. And I don't know if other people knew it, but how are they going to know it? It just looks like a top. They're not seeing the whole thing. They're not there. They're not going to know, and they're not really going to care, So you can just get out of bed. You don't even have to, change from your, as long as you have something, presentable that, that covers you up. And most, unless you're wearing a sexy lingerie, and you can just get on and or if you have work that you do by the phone, you don't have to get dressed at all. You don't even have to get out of bed. this helps people who are battling depression. It's one less step that they have to take, one less thing that they have to do. So I thought out of the pandemic, that really helped. I mean, it helped my husband immensely. You know why? Because he's not limited by location. My husband hates to drive. All right. I hate to drive. My son doesn't drive. I mean, this family just hates driving. You know, I have my license. My husband has his license. My son does not have his license. We all have great anxiety around driving. And you drive in Boston, you'll know why. Because the people that drive in Boston are absolutely certifiably insane. Okay? Insane. Red lights, what's a red light? Every light is green to them. They go right through red lights. Pedestrian, what's a crosswalk? What's a pedestrian? They'll run the people down. They run elderly people down. You know how many pedestrians have died in this city? The drivers here are cuckoo. They just don't care. They gotta get to where they gotta go, and nobody's gonna stop them. No red light's gonna stop them. No pedestrian crossing. No old elderly person that can barely walk. Nothing. They don't give a shit. They're gonna, So it's, you always have to watch out for what someone else is gonna do, and it's tension, tension, tension. Cutting each other off. I mean, driving in Boston, you have to have nerves of steel. So working from home eliminates that altogether. The next thing is my husband can work anywhere in the world because he works from home. He works with people in India. He does. He does it. He's not restricted by location. He can work anywhere. So that's another great thing about working from home. Oh, you know what? That's too far away. Nothing's too far away. It's just like, here's another thing too. And okay, therapy has only hurt me. But I'm not telling you guys that there isn't a therapist out there that can help you. I'm just saying it ruined my life and I'll never go back to it. But here's another great thing. Finding a therapist. If you have mental health issues, and you are afraid to leave the house, you have severe depression, it's hard for you to get out of bed, you have great anxiety, all the things I mentioned before, now with the way things are and the World Wide Web and the way people are always working from their laptops, you can find a therapist anywhere in the world, anywhere in this country, any state, anywhere in the world, because you're going to do virtual therapy. During the pandemic, this is what brought that all out. During the pandemic, I did virtual therapy because my psychologist said because of the pandemic, all businesses was closed. There was no in-person anything. Stores were closed. Everything was shut down. So he said, and every therapist did this, not just my psychologist, that he was doing virtual therapy until the pandemic ends. So every morning I didn't have to take a 45-minute drive to my therapist on Mondays. Sitting in traffic, and my anxiety goes haywire in traffic, okay? I get very anxious. Maybe some of you guys can relate to it. When I'm stuck in the car, I get very tense, very anxious. I start getting dizzy and lightheaded. Don't have to do that. I get up. I don't even have to get dressed. It's my psychologist. All he's going to see is from here up, Don't have to get dressed. Don't have to go anywhere. I go into my, into my office, which is my dining room. I go into my dining room. That's my office. Get on my laptop and bam, And now I can be very selective what psychologists. Before it was like, well, gee, I don't want one far away because I'm going to have to commute to the person, right? Now, I had a therapist who lived in London. Yeah, he lived in London. I went to him for a few months because we did virtual therapy. But this is another great thing that, from the pandemic that people can put in use who have severe anxiety and severe depression who don't want to leave their homes. They can find help virtually, all right? They can be very selective. Because it doesn't matter where your therapist lives because you're doing it virtual. It doesn't matter where your job is. It could be in India. It could be in Timbuktu. All right? It could be in Africa. It doesn't matter because you're working, you're virtual. It's virtual. So I think this is one thing that has really, really helped those people who are afraid to put in, to get compensated. I mean, some of you do get compensated for your mental illness. A lot of people are too ashamed. They think people won't understand, or they'll be stigmatized, or whatever, or maybe their family members or their friends put them down and, call them names, or just so demeaning to them that they're ashamed to put in for what they need. If you don't ask for the help, you're never going to get the help, right? If you don't ask the question, the answer will always be no. You don't know what's out there. There's a lot of things out there to help people with anxiety and depression. A lot of things. Do you know that you can get passes, disabled passes, if you go to the Disney World parks? You can. You can get passes and get right into. I've seen people do it. When I went to Disney World, I've seen people that looked like me, and they looked like you. They weren't in a wheelchair. They didn't have, a walker or crutches, and they got right in. And, it's because they had the disabled pass, What about people who have dogs? It's not just dogs now, all right? It can be rabbits. It could be these people. People are acknowledging people that have mental illness by allowing them to bring a therapy dog or a therapy animal. It can be a different, it doesn't necessarily have to be a dog. But you can go places now on a plane, in a store, shopping, anywhere, as long as your pet is registered as a, for your mental illness, for your anxiety or something, to help you with your anxiety. Because pets are very soothing, patting a live animal, having a live animal with you, it eases your anxiety. So a lot of these things are out there and available for you. You just have to look into them. Google. I Google everything. Jesus, I'm always Googling. You know what I do? If I don't know something, I Google it and I get the answer just like that. Like the other day, I was looking at this bird in my bird bath. I know you think this has nothing to do with mental illness, but I'm just telling you how everything is available at your fingertips. That's what the point of this is. So I said, Jesus, in all the years I lived here, 20 years in this house, in my yard, I never saw this bird. So I Googled, what is it? A brown bird. That's all I Googled. Brown birds. And I found what that bird was. It was a female blackbird. Now the blackbird, the male, is all black. He looks just like a blackbird, but the female didn't. I thought it was a different species of bird. And I knew nothing about it. I just Googled brown birds. It gave me a list of pictures of brown birds and what type of bird it was. So I looked at the pictures and I go, oh, that's the one. That's the one in my yard. And it's a female blackbird. But so what I'm trying to say, why I bother bringing up this point to you, is that you can Google anything right nowadays is available at your fingertips. Just by Googling it, you can get the answer lickety-split. So you could look into all these services that will help you if you have, whatever your mental illness is, like borderline personality disorder. I have a hard time with people. I never kept a job because of my borderline personality disorder, because I would be extremely upset, volatile, impulsive. I'd walk off jobs if someone hurt me. Said something that someone else would say, oh, just brush it off your shoulders. You're too sensitive. You're too emotional. No, bitch. I am diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, okay? I've never been hospitalized, but I've been very close to being hospitalized. You don't understand my illness, so don't judge. But this is what people do. They will judge because they don't have it. They don't know what it's like, all right? I can't just let things roll off my shoulder because I have borderline personality disorder. It's a condition I have, you know. It's just like I didn't go when my father was alive and tell him, stop hearing voices. There's no voices. It's all in your head. Yeah, it's all in his head because he has a severe mental illness called schizophrenia, you know. So don't go telling me it's all in your dad's head, you know. Yes, it is. Why? Because of his mental illness. So I just wanted to bring up more about this topic, especially around working, and I'd appreciate if you give me your input in on it. Um, what do you think about working from home? Has it helped you if you have mental illness? Are you on a disability? If you do have mental illness, do you know anyone else with mental illness who's on disability? I never got disability for my borderline personality disorder. If you have borderline personality disorder, did you get a disability for yours? I mean, I don't know. I never got it. I never looked into it. I was stupid. I should have looked into it. If you don't look into things, like I said, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. So you should go ahead and look into it and find out what's out there, resources to help you. All right. Let me know what you think about this. Links to my books are below, and you have a great day. Take care.